Hello everyone, today I will be doing a class guide on Void Highlord. This class is a long grind to obtain, but surely it is worth it in the end. This class focuses on single target DPS, it offers no supportive abilities or AoE abilities. The enhancements for this class I recommend is full luck. You can go fighter enhancements if you want to be more tankier, you will get more health that way, but I do recommend full luck. For the weapon range, from my experience from using the class, it doesn't really matter. Stable and unstable both work, it just depends on your preference. If you want RNG involved, you want to crit high, but you can also crit low, go for unstable. If you like the consistency of the class, since it does high enough damage, you can go stable. Okay, so let's get on to the abilities. We're going to start with its two abilities. So Shackle, 4-second cooldown physical damage. This will crit, it will never miss. This will increase your damage resistance by 50% for 15 seconds, increases your haste healing by 30%, and it will cost 20% of your maximum health. Not your current health, maximum health. It does 125% weapon damage. Now it's 3 skill. Highlord's Gaze, 20 mana 5-second cooldown. This is your main healing ability. So this has a 30% chance to stun. It applies Congealed, which this lowers the enemy's hit haste dodge by 10% and stacks up to 3 times. It does 130% weapon damage. The healing is based on the damage you dealt. Its 4th skill is now Unshackle. It has a 4-second cooldown physical damage. This will always crit, it can never miss. This ability increases your damage output by 50% for 15 whole seconds. This applies Soul Void, increasing your haste and healing taken by 30% for 12 seconds. This costs 20% of your maximum health and does 85% weapon damage. Okay, now we're going to talk about its first ability called Contract. So this ability is quite special as to effects. So the first effect is if Shackle is in play. If Shackle is in play, if you auto attack the enemy and the auto attack hits, you'll be getting a heal over time. This heal over time can be stacked up to 5 times and last 5 seconds. So the second effect of Contract now is if Unshackle is in play. If Unshackle is in play, every time you're able to land a hit on the monster, you will apply a damage over time, which stacks up to 5 times the last 5 seconds. Now we're going to discuss the last ability, Armageddon, 50 mana 15-second cooldown. This applies Arbiter's Wrath, which increases your crit strike damage by 30% for 8 seconds. This also applies Kneel Before the Nation, which increases your damage and damage resistance by 50% for 12 seconds. A very strong nuking ability. So the rank 4 passives of Void Highlord, the first one is Relentless Onslaught. This increases your hit chance and crit chance by 15%. The other one increases your damage resistance by 20%. Now the final passive on this class once you achieve rank 10 on Void Highlord is that your endurance will increase by 50%, giving you a lot more health. So now there are 2 more things to discuss about this class. All of these abilities on Void Highlord have a chance to apply Insolent Fools. This increases your endurance by 30% and gives you a heal over time for 3 whole seconds. The other thing is that Shackle and Unshackle replace each other, but the effects that occur from them, Soul Fiend and Soul Breach, will remain active for their duration, which is 5 seconds. Okay, so some quick tips on souling. When you're fighting a very hard monster, I recommend you start with your 5 skill, then you go to your 2 skill, auto attack once or twice, get that healing up, use your 3 skill ability, and then if you're super healthy, use your 4 skill, auto attack once or twice to get the damage over time on the monster, then cycle back to your 2 skill, because your heal should still be going over time. Click it, restack that again, and then 3 skill, and then so on. You always use your 5 skill whenever it's up, because there's no penalty on that ability. Your guaranteed damage reduction, you do a lot of damage, and it costs no health. Your 2 and 4 abilities, you have to be more careful, be mindful of your HP when using these abilities. Make sure to weave in your regular auto attacks before using the next ability so you can get the effect and continue stacking it on. That's pretty much it for souling. The only hard boss in the game you guys might have trouble is Binky, in which Binky has a bunch of abilities. There's an ability that Binky does that reverses healing and damage over time, so when it does that, make sure you use your force skill, try to sustain long enough, and then swap back and forth. That's all you need to know for soloing. Okay, so now when you're PvPing, this is quite special. I like to start with my 5 skill because no penalty, I get damage increase, I get 50% mitigation. After that, depending on which class I'm facing, I will either use my 2 skill for more mitigation or my 3 skill if they just automatically just crazy chunked me hard. I will never go my 4 skill second because it doesn't offer me anything besides extra damage. The only reason you want to use your 4 skill is if you're trying to go for the kill, or you think you can nuke them before they get some damage or damage mitigation buff on them. But besides that, you want to go 5, and then you go 2, and then 3, and then sustain from there. If you're winning the fight, or they're doing too much damage, just kind of chill. Just kind of use your 3 skill, wait out, 2 skill, 3, 5 skill whenever it's up. And yeah, that's it. That's all how to use it in PvP. It's quite simple, really. Just don't spam your 2 and 4 abilities. Only use your 4 skill sparingly. It does do more damage, but be wary that if you don't kill them fast enough, then yikes, you just lost 20% of your HP. Gotta be a little cautious. Wow, so overall this class is quite good. It has one of the highest single target DPS in the game. It is definitely a top tier soloing class. However, this class is quite selfish. It offers no buffs to your allies, so it can't be used as a support class. Also, it has no AoE abilities, so it is not as effective in farming. It does good damage, but it can't do it with multiple targets, so it will be slow in that regard. So besides that, I'm gonna give this class an SS tier rating on soloing. I will not be rating its supportive abilities or farming abilities because the class was not made for that. If I did, it would be quite low. So yeah, there you guys go. Hope you guys enjoy this class guide. Catch you guys on the next one. See ya.